Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight, Chundi Buddha Mother. Sumo Tanzen Katso Dodan Siddhi. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma educators, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, and directors of temples and chapters, and everyone, good evening, and those over the internet.
I stayed. Shanange. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiban. Kimochi ii. Yumi. Happy. Purin purin. Konbanwa.
At first, I was going to talk about last night, tonight. But Sumu told me not to talk about it, about things at home, not to talk about things at my home. Last night, I did not sleep until 4 a.m. and got up at 8 a.m. So on this Dharma throne, I closed my eyes to take a little rest, but I did not fall asleep. Did you see me falling asleep? No, that's right. Just remember the overall merit dedication. As long as I remember which deity we are practicing, that's good enough. Coming back from Taiwan, this is the second Saturday. We've been back for about 10 days. Still have a little bit of jet lag. The weather in Taiwan is really different from the weather here. Here, I always feel that it's kind of cloudy. And in Taiwan, it's more sunny. It gives a different feeling. not used to, not so used to Taiwan, but I'm also not used to here, so I don't know where I belong. Where? That's why Sakyamuni Buddha said that life is suffering. I think I would be more suitable in Sukhavati. We have the 4 seasons, right? In the Saha world. It's too cold in the winter, too hot in the summer, and autumn is too and spring is good to sleep. So in the Western paradise or Sukhavati, we only have that graceful, harmonious sound. So by hearing such a sound, you would feel very happy. So that people like to chant or be mindful of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and to practice the 37 enlightening factors. There are only 7 treasures there. The water is the meritorious water, and people will not get sick. They will not age. Everyone is young. And the temperature is just right, with only some soft breeze. That's why in the Amitabha Sutra it's mentioned that the soft breeze caresses the 7-layered pavilions, the trees, and net that would generate music. Such a good place. The residences or the abodes are palaces made of Indra pearls, and there are no natural disasters there. Like this time in Turkey, the 7.8 magnitude earthquake will not exist in Sukhavati. And the food, it comes with the thought. So you think of it, and that the food will appear in front of you. What you wear is celestial garments, no dust there, no dirt, no PM 2.5. There's no dust whatsoever. So you can wear the same clothes all your life. They're all celestial garments. And they're all luminous, radiant, illuminated. And your body is also luminous. And your clothes too, very bright. And no need to wash them. They're all naturally clean. the place you live in are palaces of 7 treasures, and your transports. From my own experience, it's according to your wish. And spontaneously. And you travel to wherever you want to go. Other countries, other Buddha verses, Buddha lands. And you bring a lotus blossom to make offerings to bodhisattvas of other Buddha lands. It's happened very easily, naturally, according to your thought or wish, and you would be there, and it would happen. There would be heavenly music to listen every day, very wonderful music. And by listening to it, you would feel happy, and you will not get sick, you will not get old, you will not die. So such a realm, such a world, you will not feel tired. You will not say that you are so sleepy today. You never feel tired. And in the future, we will all go there. This is a joke about line. The wife told the husband, the husband sent a line text to wife. We are bankrupt and we have lots of debts. All I have left is this house, and I will leave it for you, and please take care of yourself. And the wife asks the husband in line, but where are you now? I am at the top floor, at the roof. And the wife said, please come down soon, right away. But I've decided no need to discourage me. But the wife said, but listen, this would affect the price of our house. Why don't you go to the roof of the building across the street? See, the Saha world, you still want to earn money. Everyone wants more money. But in Sukhavati, what money do you want to earn? The gold covered the ground. Under the meritorious water is the golden sand everywhere. And above the water, on the water, there are lotus blossoms as big as car wheels. No, I said it upside backward. Lotus blossoms as big as wheels of cars, and on them are the lotus youths. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You don't need to earn money, you have everything there. Only then it's called the realm of utmost bliss. The Saha world is so pitiful. If you don't earn money, then you owe people. You have no hope. What should you do then? Then you worry every day and become afflicted. Let me share another joke. That's a joke about money. The kindergartens of event, there are 3 small classes. One is the kid one, and they have to yell what's called the motto. The little one is always number 1. And the second class is the little 2. It's the only one, second to none. And the third, the little 3. Oh, this little 3 also means mistress. It's most dear to dads. We talk about money earlier, and now it talks about sensual pleasures, about lust. Motel in America are motor hotel. So you can just go stay at the motel openly, but motels in Taiwan is different. People don't dare to go there openly, but they go there secretly. We all know what motels are about in Taiwan. If you've been to Taiwan, you would know. I remember in my seclusion, someone stood at the garage door to wait for me to come home. And finally I appeared and I saw that person and was shocked. How come? She's standing right here. Nobody knew I live here. And when I took a look, who was that? That was Reverend B. Yen. She stood at the garage door of my building, the building I live in. So when I got home, I saw her and told her, "Don't stand here. When I have time, I will look for you." When I went to see her, everybody in the hotel was glaring at me because how come a monk? And where did she stay? At the motel. Where is Reverend Bien? Was there a motel that you stayed in? It should be. You didn't know it was a motel? Everybody was fixing their gaze at me. Why I went to a motel? Because it's cheaper. $400 for a rest, for a nap, and $800 for a night. That's NT dollars. Nowadays, there's no more hotels at such a price. But motels are different from hotels. It's okay, you can sit. It's okay that you did not know. So that's about lust. Look get the joke. The third party, the little third, is Dad's love. In heavens, in Sukhavati, there is no such problem. How do I describe Sukhavati? There's no problem. No problem. It's no problem. Question from Singapore. Lianhua Fu An. Homage to Grandmaster. I would like to ask a few questions. This is the main topic. Do I need to find the appropriate time to move my incense burner and clean up my shrine? Because sometimes I carelessly tipped over the teacup, so the spilled tea flowed to under the burner. In such a situation, is it okay to move the incense burner without consulting the auspicious date or time? If it's not okay, is there a workaround? This is a mundane question. A mundane question. Where is the true altar? I often say that my house is in my body. My body is my home, my house. I have said it before that by leaving home, your home is everywhere. And our body is our home. Where is the altar? The altar is inside your heart, mind. An external altar belongs to the mundane. Tantric altar is very beautiful, is to help us focus our mind on the altar. So this is not the problem. So even when it is not a problem, people still make a problem out of it. So at what time are good for what, and how many, and which times are good times or auspicious ones, and which ones are bad ones, and which day to move the ground or to open the business, etc. Those are all defined by human beings. But for true Buddhist practitioners, all days are good days. And any time of day is a good time. If you want to show respect to the altar, then you tell the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas on the altar that I'm going to move the incense burner to clean it up, and inviting all the deities regardless of whether the time is good or bad. Please understand that I want to move the burner now. And you lit the incense and tell them, and then you can move them around. And there's a workaround. Can't you invoke the parasol of Sakyamuni Buddha the one we talk about in the sutra, or you invite Siddhartha.
Mama hum ni soha. Mama hum ni soha. Mama hum ni soha. Mama hum ni soha.
And you visualize the great white parasol to cover your house. Then it doesn't matter how you move. There is not impolite. It would be unethical, because none of the gods and ghosts outside would see it. You know what I invented for sleeping? It's wonderful. Because at the head of my bed, it hangs a huge tanka of Kalachakra that was hung by Sakura and Master Piano. And so I chant. The 10-syllable mantra of Kalachakra. Just exactly 10 syllables. After completing chanting that, then I visualize the Kalachakra Vajra shield to descend. It's round and it covers my whole house. And I sleep under the Kalachakra's Vajra shield. Then I don't need any sleep protection with the light anymore. None of the swords and weapons can penetrate it. And I sleep at peace, and I don't need to do protection for sumu. Everything is is covered under it. Everything in the house. And I sleep really well. So you can use that too. There are many different methods to work around it. Once it's covered, whatever happened inside cannot be invaded by anything. Anything good or bad would be blocked outside it. Then that would do. That's good. And the great white parasol of Siddhartha, Hum Mama Hum Ni Soha. And the white parasol descends covering your house, and then whatever you move inside it is fine. You don't need to check the dates. That's my answer to Lian Hua Fu An from Singapore. Let me tell you a secret formula. No, I cannot say this. It's secret. I wanted to say, but no. You want me to say it? Sorry. Maybe just sharing a little bit. This is the first fifth formula of the dual body practice. To cover your own room. Then the gods and ghosts outside it will not know. This is the first formula of the dual body practice. There are many, many key formulas in this practice. You will not know unless I transmit them. They are important. The second formula, the third formula. But monks out there who would just do it without understanding the key formulas, then that's grave sins. If you have not reached the non-leaking states or the no-self, a state of no-self, then you're not qualified to do this practice. And if you practice it, then you have to suffer its retributions. So this first key formula, it's just very tiny. It's to cover it so that it's unknown to the gods and ghosts. That's the first formula. Question from the Fuan from Singapore. Second question. We practice Buddha Dharma in order to gain true understanding of the mind and to see our nature and to be in charge of our life and death, or to transcend life and death. According to my literal understanding of being in charge or transcending life and death, is if a Siddha in the human world wants to live forever, is it true that conceptually his body doesn't have to deteriorate and can live as long as the heaven and earth, and even in the face of the 3 major and 3 minor calamities, that he would stay unscathed? I never thought of this issue. You're very smart. So a Siddha in the human world wants to live forever. Is it true that conceptually his physical body doesn't have to deteriorate and can live as long as heaven and earth, and he would be unharmed by 3 major and 3 minor calamities? What do you think? Nobody dare to answer. Let the smart one speak. You raise your hand. Just listen to your strange argument. It's not bad. Nobody? So I will speak. Actually, it's stated in the Vimalakirti Sutra. Vimalakirti regarded the Saha world to be pure land. Transmigration or reincarnation is the same as nirvana. The Vimalakirti Sutra will talk about this. The most important topic or subject in the Vimalakirti Sutra is, if your mind is pure, then the Buddha lands is pure. There are Buddhas in the Saha world, Bodhisattvas, Sravakas, Kratika Buddhas. In the Saha world, there are also sentient beings of the 6 rebirth realms, humanly beings, human, asura, hungry ghosts, hell, animal beings. So the Saha world in the Vimalakirti Sutra is a combo land, not a pure land. It's all mixed here. Sakyamuni Buddha was Buddha, right? And the accumulated treasure Bodhisattva is a Bodhisattva, right? There are many Bodhisattvas in the Saha world. Sakyamuni Buddha is a Buddha, and his disciples were Sravakas. Sariputra, Madhyakalana are all Sravakas. Pratyeka Buddhas, all the attainers of other religions. Jesus was a Pratyeka Buddha. And we can also say Muhammad was a Pratyeka Buddha. And the heavenly beings. There are many devas, devis in the Saha world. The Bodhisattvas that we enshrine, they come and go, and they are also in the Saha world. And heavenly beings like Indra, when we pay homage and invoke him, he would come. And halfway up Mount Meru in the Saha world, they are the heavens of the four heavenly kings, and so there are heavenly beings there, and human beings, and the realm of hells. Then we say there's the border hells in the wilderness, and at the ocean shores, or in the ocean, there are hells. Hospitals are one of the hells too. And there are many causes and effects that manifest here. And animal realms in the Saha world. What we eat, chicken, ducks, goose, lambs, beef, they belong to the animal realms in the Saha world. And the hungry ghost realm, like those who suffer in the famine in Africa. They had nothing to eat. That's the hungry ghost realm. And Asura inside the great oceans, at the bottom of the oceans. So this land is called a combo land. So someone who had attainment in the Saha world wants to live forever, to continue to live. It's possible, like Guru Padmasambhava, like spoken by the old lady. She's very happy. She could dance the Amitofo. Very hot old lady. Guru Padmasambhava was like this. Once he passed by a cemetery and saw a lady that was just being buried, and he knew that the baby inside her womb was still alive. So he saved the baby and raised her. It's a baby girl. And then had her as his wife. So we don't know how long he lived. He did not die. When he was leaving Ishichogal, he said, "My affinity with here is about to end." So he rode on a cloud vehicle and was going someplace else to deliver people there. So he did not die. He's always alive. And he said, if you chant his mantra, Guru Padmasambhava's mantra, as long as you chant his mantra, Guru Padmasambhava's mantra, wholeheartedly, he would appear right in front of you. So he hasn't died. How could you say he died? He would appear right in front of you. Will not die. And one more. Nagarjuna Bodhisattva also hasn't died, doesn't die. He lived very, very long life. Until at that time there was a king in India who followed Nagarjuna Bodhisattva. That for however long Nagarjuna lived, the king could also live that long. If you have read Nagarjuna biography or holiography, you would know. But the prince, because the king could not die, if the king does not die, the prince could never become a king. So the prince begged Nagarjuna to die. And Nagarjuna agreed. Because in his causes conditions, there was a sharp grass that he cut, those sharp grass. So he had that causes and effects. So to let himself die, the grass was very sharp like a razor. And then he cut or he put it around his neck and died. So the king died too. And then the prince could become a king. But Nagarjuna did not have to die. He could stay alive forever. But it was due to the request of the prince. Because if the old king never dies, because he lives as long as Nagarjuna Bodhisattva, the prince could not become a king. So he asked the king, his own father, to die. Such a strange thing. But don't also find it strange, because in China history, prince or the son to kill the father in order to become a king, or brothers killing each other just for a name, for power. They kill each other. So the physical body can be indestructible and live as long as heaven and earth. Someone told Grandmaster, You want to live longer because I want to follow you, so you have to live longer. I'm 79 this year, according to the Taiwanese counting. After the New Year, I'm 79. But in America, I'm 78. You have to live longer. And I said, okay. Okay, I agree. I will live longer. I will live longer. And you have to follow me. Of course, everybody must follow Grandmaster. I'm not talking about a particular person. This is called being in charge of life and death. Actually, transcending life and death, or being in charge of life and death, is like you can be born wherever you like, and you can die wherever you want to. I really don't want to live on. But so if you want to be born, you're born. And if you want to die, you die. That's called transcending life and death. Because sometimes the Saha world is no fun. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes no fun at all. So life and death is up to you. You can die wherever you want. We have a disciple that said that he or she wants to die at a certain date, certain month, certain year. And then this person went to the Taiwan temple and told me I would die at that date. And I'd ask that person, based on what? That you would die. And that person said that, oh, I know. It's like someone told her. And I said, okay. You have qi inside your body. What kind of qi? Upper qi, lower qi, peripheral qi, fire accompanying qi, and life qi. And of these 5 types of qi, the most important one is the life qi. Can you transport your life qi out your apex? If you can, then you would die. Are you able to do that? Can you transport your life qi directly to the heavens? Can you? That person said no. Then you will not die. Only then you are called to be in charge of your life and death. That you collect your life qi and push up the central channel out your apex and never to return, then you will die. Otherwise, the life qi is unmoved, is not moving. Of the 5 kinds of qi, the life qi does not move. So if you can maintain your life qi inside your body, being unmoved, then you can continue to live. On top of that, you need to maintain your physical body to be healthy. So it's not easy to be a Grandmaster. Actually, it's not easy to be Grandmaster. Grandmaster has to have energy, power, the power of youth. People get prostate cancer, etc. But not Grandmaster. Oh, but I should not boast. What if it happens? Why the prostrates get swollen? Because you don't use them. If you use them, they will not get swollen. Typically speaking, at 80, you will not give birth to children. You will not bear children because it's already dried up. But let me tell you, not Grandmaster. This is play of word of Chinese. Not crying, not loud. So Grandmaster can still get on the double bars. The 80-year-old man can still be on the double bars. So easy, can't be difficult at all. But Simu said, no, never, don't do it again, because your hands would be up there and your body is down on the ground. And how about the single bar? It's the same. I can lift my body. I still do push-ups 200 times every day. And I play the Vajra pole and the Vajra fist exercises. So there shouldn't be any problem having children or to be in charge of life and death. Grandmaster can move Grandmaster's qi. Many women love this kind of good man. Always up at 9 sharp and sleep at 9 p.m. Never smoke, never drink, never flirt, never dates. No rumors, no secrets, no personal savings, no Facebooks, no Line, no suspicious texts, and always very, very quiet and sing. And we have many men like this here. Where? In the prison. That's how the prison is. The chief of the cannibal tribes asks his subordinates to catch a few officials. But how about commoners? Is that because they're no good? No, because the commoners are too bitter, because they suffer. Now we will talk about the Vimalakirti Sutra. I will go through it faster now. The Buddha spoke on Dharma with one voice. When Sakyamuni Buddha spoke Dharma, it's always with one voice. It should be in the Pali language, Pali. The audience, each according to their understanding, all accept it, practice, and receive its benefits. This is the most uncommon display of transcendent power. The Buddha spoke using Pali language with one voice. but all the audience would receive different explanations. Today, Grandmaster is speaking Dharma, and sometimes everyone's understanding is different. What they hear would be different for them. So this is also a kind of transcendent power. So Grandmaster giving Dharma teaching is not just here. All over the world, there are many countries, many disciples who can see Grandmaster Lu. Not in the dreams, okay? That's not counted. But seeing Grandmaster in broad daylight, there are already people like that now that see Grandmaster giving Dharma teaching to them in broad daylight, not at night. And we have several disciples sitting right here who had seen Grandmaster or heard Grandmaster teaching Dharma, and Grandmaster is never separate from them. Someone seated here has such capability. Do you believe it or not? Right here inside the Seattle temple, several of them can see Grandmaster in broad daylight, and Grandmaster can tell them Dharma. They all can see Grandmaster or Sakyamuni standing in front of them. Oh. One side, he's giving Dharma teaching at the Vulture Peak, and the other side, he's giving a Kalachakra Dharma transmission to King of Shambhala in the auspicious rice scattering pagoda. So he could speak on Dharma at both places at the same time. Sakyamuni Buddha's divine power is uncommon, and it's the same with Grandmaster now. Someone in Singapore, now I will not say the name because it would be too shocking. And she told the Grandmaster Lu there, I will go to Seattle at what day? And I want to see the original Grandmaster Lu, and I would know right here when she would come. This is true. Dharma sister Sally knows her. Is Sui here? Is that the case? Yes. Sui knew her. That person just told my Dharma body when she's coming to Seattle, and I would know. She has such a capability to see another Grandmaster Lu and teaches her every night. So there's witness in this and proofs. It's not boasting. And Grandmaster never apart from her, never abandons her. And also in Taiwan and many countries around the world. So this is Sakyamuni Buddha seeing the world-honored one right before them, that this is the most uncommon display of transcendent power. So to teach this Dharma to that disciple, that disciple, they're all different. Of course, then that is uncommon. It doesn't say the same thing. If you have such a capability, after you die, it's all the same. You're still in the Saha world. What difference is life from death then? Just like Grandmaster. Golden Mother and Grandmaster are often together. Golden Mother is at the peak of Mount Kunlun at the Jet Pond Fairyland. But actually, she's together with Grandmaster in an instant right away. It's very simple explanation. One moon is reflected or appears on thousands of rivers. One moon manifests or appears in thousands of rivers. And not only that, they're all alive and they can talk. As long as you gain spiritual union with the Yidam, then you have such a power. Once you gain spiritual union with the Yidam, Grandmaster is in spiritual union with Golden Mother. I can speak to Golden Mother anytime. And she can tell me anytime too. The Buddha spoke on Dharma with one voice. The audience, each according to their understanding, accepted practice and received its benefits. Oh. And everyone receives it differently. All accepted practice and receive its benefits. This is also uncommon Dharma. Observing the Buddha with the pure mind, they are filled with joy, each seeing the world-honored one right before them. This is the most uncommon Dharma of transcendent power. The Buddha spoke on Dharma with one voice. Some are fearful and some are joyous. Some are appalled and went away, and some resolved their doubts. This is the most uncommon display of transcendent power. The Buddha spoke with one voice. Some people, hearing it, very fearful, because the Buddha told him that by doing this, you have to suffer the retribution, and then he feels fearful. And then to some people heard that this is very good, you would gain merit and blessings, then they would feel joyous. So some fearful, some joyous. So two people hearing it are different. Some are appalled and went away. They want to leave the Saha world when they hear the Buddha teach Dharma. Or if you have any doubts or questions, the Buddha resolved them. This is also the most uncommon display of transcendent power. Sri Sakyamuni Buddha had such a power. Although he was just one deity, but he transforms into many. His emanations are numerous. Like Amitabha Buddha of Sukhavati, he could also transform. And Guru Padmasambhava was one of his transformation. Padma Kumaras are also his transformations. And more. In Sukhavati, he manifested the peacocks, the parrots, Kalavinkas. And they all can cultivate the 37 enlightening factors and can let people naturally be mindful and chant the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and practice the 37 enlightening factors. Those are manifestations of Amitabha Buddha. So Guru Padmasambhava was a transformation of Amitabha Buddha, and so is Padma Kumara, or so are Padma Kumaras. So Amitabha Buddha can transform, and so can Grandmaster Lu. Right here, there are people who can see Grandmaster Lu, and not only at night and not in the dreams. What's the big deal? Dreams are all kinds of messy dreams, and then after having all those messy dreams, you ask about them. But this is a real seeing. Gao Ming Lu, Dharma brother Gao Ming Lu saw Grandmaster as tall as 2 floors. My true body is not very tall, but my Dharma body can be as however tall, however huge you want it to be. There are several inside the Seattle temple now that can see Grandmaster in the daytime. I will not talk about it for the time being. So some are fearful, enjoy, some appall, went away, some dissolved their doubts. So they're all Grandmaster Lu, but they speak differently to different people. We bow to the 10 powers of great diligence. The accumulated treasure Bodhisattva bow his head to the ground, which means homage. Buddhas have 10 uncommon powers. Great diligence. Sakyamuni Buddha is great diligence. He is very diligent in spiritual cultivation, like Grandmaster Lu, very diligent. Just look at how I performed the 1,000 Dharma vessels per to deliverance. I said, then I don't have to do it in Taiwan, right? No, I have to continue. And coming back from Taiwan, I can stop, right? No. I still must continue. Until when? Until you cannot do it anymore. Last night at 2 a.m., I was still practicing. I was still performing the Dharma. I was still on the Dharma throne, practicing. I did not sleep until 4 a.m. Now there are even more. Those who died from the Turkey earthquake. They said there are two kinds that I can save, the important ones. They have to have good roots to go to Sukhavati. They have to have good foundations or good roots in order to go to Sukhavati. And second, they have to be single-minded in mindful of the Buddha to go to Sukhavati. But people of those countries, how can they understand the Buddha? They probably never heard of the Buddha's name. Maybe they only know from school that there is such a thing as Buddhism, but they don't know how to cultivate spirituality. But the Amitabha Sutra stated you have to have good roots and to have to be single-minded to go to Sukhavati. Then the Pure Land Trinity will appear and guide them. So how to save them? First, I chanted for them to hear. First, I invoke Amitabha Buddha to come and radiate boundless light to bless them, to purify their body and mind. Second, I chant the Buddha's name for them to hear. I chant and they chant together. And with the cause of chanting the Buddha's name, then you have the effect or the fruition of going to the Pure Land. That's how I perform the birth of deliverance. The great diligence. A Buddha must be diligent. One of the Bodhisattvas, Mahastama-prapta, is also called the greatly powerful Bodhisattva. They're the same. And also the greatly diligent Bodhisattva is the same as Mahastama-prapta Bodhisattva. So Bodhisattvas have to be diligent. Moreover, the Buddhas. We bow and pay homage to the fearless one. Of course, nothing to fear. Grandmaster too is fearless. In this stage, Grandmaster now is fearless. So I have written about unhindered philosophy, the philosophy of no hindrance. And the spirit of being unhindered is fearlessness. Everything is fine. And you're fearless about it. Which means you have confirmed the way. So what are you afraid of? Since you have attained the way, then you're fearless. So the accumulated treasure Bodhisattva pay homage to Sakyamuni Buddha that the Buddha had confirmed, had attained and already fearless. We bow and pay homage to the one abiding in uncommon Dharma. His transcendent power, manifestation, all uncommon. We bow to all the great teachers. The greatest guru of all Buddha Dharma, Sakyamuni Buddha, the great teacher. And we bow to the ability to break all bondages. Sentient beings are all in bondage. held in bondage by what? By themselves. If you have desire for name, then you would be held in bondage by name. If by wealth, you are held in bondage by wealth. So whatever you have desire for, then you will be held in bondage by it. And the Buddha break the bondages. Nobody bound you. You bound yourself. You hold yourself in bondage. It's you. We bow to the one who has arrived at the other shore. Once you have attainment, you have reached the other shore. Like the 1,000 Dharma vessels have reached Sukhavati, and all the spirits have reached the other shore. So they have arrived at the other shore. The other shore is Buddha. No more bondages. Once you reach that realm, that's the other shore. Actually, there is no such a thing as realm. A realm is only something manifested for you to see. So this shore is not a shore. The shore is only a name or term. Because you have arrived, you have no more shores. That's why it's called arriving at the other shore. We bow to the one who can deliver all the worlds. Pay homage to Sakyamuni Buddha that you can become the great teacher in the Saha world and to give all the important Buddha Dharma to sentient beings, that he can deliver sentient beings of the Saha world. And we bow to the one who has abandoned all paths of life and death. After Sakyamuni Buddha attained the way, of course there are no lives and deaths. That's why it's called seemingly coming and seemingly going, or Tathagata, that you have abandoned life and death forever. Because when there is no birth, there would be no death. No birth and no death. So your appearance also an illusion. Like Grandmaster Lu can appear in Singapore, can appear in Taiwan, and can appear in America too. Can also appear in Canada and all over the place. I can let people see, can also be in mainland China, everywhere, anywhere. You know the phenomena of the comings and goings of sentient beings. Of course, Sakyamuni Buddha knows how sentient beings come and go. And he also knows all the phenomena, like stated in the Vajra Sutra. All phenomena, those who can know the fundamental wisdom or the true wisdom has gained enlightenment. And wisdom of discernment is the worldly wisdom. And leaving behind the world, beyond worldly, what's left is the fundamental wisdom. So you have gained liberation through the mastery of all Dharma. When giving Dharma teaching, you can let sentient beings gain liberation. No more bondages. Unattached to the world like the lotus. This is simple. Lotus grow amid the mud. The Buddha attain Buddhahood in the Saha world, but leaving the world is in the world and also beyond the world, transcending the world, and pure like the lotus. The lotus grew out of the mud, but he's the most pure. The lotus is the most pure. So unattached to the world like the lotus, that means pure. Your conduct is always in emptiness and extinction. He has confirmed the empty nature. You know, Sukhavati has 4 pure lands. The pure land of pure and serene light, and the Sambhogakaya Buddhas are in the magnificent land of reward, and the Nirmanakaya Buddhas is in the lower 3 lands. And when Sakyamuni Buddha was in the Saha world giving Dharma teaching, that was Nirmanakaya Buddha. So he was in the mixed realm of both the sages and the mundane. Once he had attainment, reached Buddhahood, he's in the pure land of pure and serene light. His Dharma body, Buddha, Dharmakaya Buddha, is in the top level, pure land. And the Sambhogakaya Buddha is in the magnificent land of reward and the abundant pure land of convenience. So he understands about all phenomena. No attachments, no afflictions, no life and death. There is nothing to be worried about or nothing. So we bow to the one relying on nothing like the sky. The accumulated treasures Bodhisattva pay homage to Sakyamuni Buddha like the sky, relying on nothing. It doesn't attach to any one thing. People in the Saha world is attached to money, attached to looks or sensual pleasures, attached to name and recognition. These are the 3 key ones. And of course, there are 2 more, to food. Love food. I think there's a joke. A fat girl said, in other people's tummy, they have talents, but inside my tummy, there's bubble tea. And this is Chinese. Play of word. There's cause and effect. When you're fat, don't say that you're fat without eating. If you don't eat, how can you be fat? Because you love to eat. That's why. That's cause and effect. If you don't eat, how can you be fat? We bow to the one attaching on nothing like the sky. When you truly attain the way, you're like the sky. There are no such things as wealth, fame, looks, food, and sleep. Like United States of America will have an election next year? This year? No. Next. When? The presidential election? Next year, 2024, right? And look at that ex-president. He's decided to come out. So he's so attached and never let go. Amitabha. He's been the president and he wanted to do it again, as if he would die if he didn't do it. And he had to do it. Oh, what can we do? Even telling him Buddha Dharma, he would not understand. He would not understand. Because whatever you're attached to, then you would be held in bondage by it. If you have no attachment at all, who can bound you? Who can hold you? Who can hold you in bondage? Nobody can. You hold yourself in bondage because you have greed. How come the fraud or the scammers cannot cheat me? Because I don't care for the money that you bait me with. That's why I just give Dharma teaching. What can you trick me on? Oh, if you invest in this, then you would gain a lot of money and just give you a little bit in return, and then they ran away with it. That's how the scammers do it. Just to give you a little bit of sweets, and then you have to suffer greatly because you have greed, right? Actually, I have no attachment toward my children either. Of course, I love them, but not so attached to them. Everything is up to the destiny. Life and death is according to your karma. Prosperity and nobility is up to the heavens, up to the karma. Your conduct is always in emptiness and extinction. We bow to the one attaching on nothing like the sky. So if we go through them fast, it's like this. We cover a lot in no time. Oh, we've told this joke, but let me say it again. It's quite funny. The couple was fighting, and the husband was really angry, slapped the door and left. And the wife shouted from the window, "What time are you coming home? If I come back, I'm your grandson." And the wife was angry too and locked the door. And 2 hours later, the doorbell rang. And then she heard, "Grandma, I'm back. Open the door." Because he said if he comes back, he would be your grandson. So that's why he called her grandma. Om Mani Padme Hum.